Welcome to the Free Humanity Podcast. One of these hosts will eventually be in prison because we're trying to make you free. Crazy as it sounds, it's probably going to happen. So what we're here to discuss today?
Is this on me?
Yeah, why don't you start, Will?
Okay.
Why are we here today?
Today, we're going to be talking about two very special guests that we had appear on the Simon Squibb channel that we bumped into in London.
Right. London's a big place.
It's a very big place.
Why did we bump into them and who are they? Just drop the names. Or only tell people at the end of the podcast they have to listen to the whole thing. Is that the idea?
All the way to the end,
Can
yes.
you guess who it is?
Can you
Who
guess
is
who
it?
it is? In the comments, drop us a line.
Let me know. No, it's Sam Sulek and Danny Aarons are the two people.
Okay, so why don't we just talk about who they are? I didn't really know either of them until you guys introduced me to who they are. And then I became a fan. But why don't you guys tell me, why are they so relevant in today's culture, both of these people?
Well, I think Sam Sulek's very liked amongst most people because he's just so authentic. And I think, the common narrative that's being spread across YouTube and that sort of thing is like the anti-Mr. Beastification of the platform, like where it's been so sort of like high, flashy edits and like fast-paced delivery and all this sort of thing. I think the way that Sam slowed it down and brought his videos to a more authentic, slower pace, where he literally just films himself driving in his car, working out every day, and then, tensing in the mirror, basically. I think people enjoy that because, people don't always want to see that Mr. Beastie content. Sometimes they just want to chill. Most people say they like Sam Sulek because they watch him when they eat.
I can't really imagine sitting and watching someone else work out. I'd rather just be working out. And, having met him, he's actually didn't show off his muscles, right? He's kind of covering himself up, which I thought was interesting. You couldn't actually see all that work, right? It was kind of hidden. But I didn't get the feeling that he was very, look at my body, look what I've got, look what I've done. I wonder what motivated him to kind of go down that route of making content around it. And what makes people watch it? I wouldn't watch it. I think one video was like 3 hours long of him working out, right? Why? Are people learning how to work out? Is that why?
I think it's similar to the kind of stuff we're doing in terms of building a community. He seems to have built a community within the gym world, and he kind of caught on to the whole gym hype at the perfect time where it's started to become quite a cool thing to be someone that goes to the gym. And the fact he's so authentic with it, I think people just kind of align themselves with him and kind of view it as like having a gym mate. I imagine people probably go to the gym, stick him on in their headphones,
right, wow.
and work out
not
with
singing
him.
a song or anything, is he? People are really like listening to him doing grunts.
I think people
while
do
he's
actually do that, yeah.
They listen to him grunting and pulling weights. That's what they're listening to.
I think it's the thing with people, the motivation of going to the gym, it can be quite a isolating thing, and it is it used to be a very toxic atmosphere. Whenever I go to the gym, you've got a bunch of people in there. They're a lot bigger than me. They're lifting much heavier weights. It's very easy to kind of go into the corner and not kind of work as hard as you should do. And I think he is kind of allowing people to realise that the gym is a place for everyone to go, because he himself is quite a big... We met him. He's a massive guy, but he's so nice and just a down-to-earth guy. I think it's breaking down that barrier of just because he's got big muscles doesn't mean he's a knob.
Yeah, exactly.
I think people also want to just almost like hang out with him, almost like he's a friend. He creates this wholesome content. And I remember during the 2010s on YouTube, a lot of the content was, or at least the content that I watched was gaming. I'd watch people play games, and a lot of people think that's weird. Why don't you just play the games yourself? But you watch it because you want to just kind of hang out with someone, right?
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think part of the magic, like what Callum's saying, is the quick feedback loop. Instead of obviously a high production video, will then take a few weeks or a few months to then get out. Every day, Sam is working out, filming it, editing, and uploading it that same day. So that he's done it that day. You kind of feel like you're there with him, and then he also uploads every day. So if you miss a day, Sam won't have missed a day, and you whatever you could even align your training schedule with him, whatever it is. I think people feel that extra closeness when they know only a few hours before they're watching the video he was doing that session.
And they can count on him too. If he's turning up every day to hang out, right? It's like you really build a relationship with that person. It's like most people look forward to seeing those videos every day.
It was the authenticity that made me like him. But we got some controversy around him. I notice a lot of people do have quite strong opinions that he's not a good role model and that he's not someone people should be following or looking up to. And why don't we play the clip for people that haven't seen the clip, the interview that we had with him, so people can get a context to, if they don't know him, who he is, and if they do know him, perhaps a little bit behind the scenes when we all met him. Should we play that?
Perfect segue.
Play clip.
Roll the clip.
Roll the clip.
Oh, same idea.
Hey man, what's your dream?
My dream is to get heavier. That's pretty much that's the biggest
How much
part.
more heavy you want to be?
I'd say maybe 30 pounds.
You're a hero to many, my friend. If you were to give a young person some advice, they wanted to kind of be famous, do you think it's a good idea? And if so, how would they do it?
To be famous, well, I think that's kind of a secondary goal. Really, you should try to just pick something that you like and get really good at it. And then if you get good enough, people will start watching you.
How did you know you like this?
I don't know. It just kind of gradually happened.
What age did you start liking it?
Probably 16 or so.
Did you have a mentor? Did someone get you there?
Yeah, I had a buddy who was a little older than me, and he got me started.
Any tips if someone wants to find a mentor? What do you think? What's the best way?
Well, now with social media, you can just DM people. Hopefully they'll reach back.
I would say it's not who you know, it's who you ask, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're a fucking hero, you are, man. Cheers. Seriously. So there's 6 of us here today, right? So just for one more second before we go. There's a young man called Connor, born in England, grew up here. Him and his mate were going to the gym every day, and they dreamed of opening up their own gym. And then his mate died in a car accident. And now he wants to open up his own gym, and we're going to help him do it. Any words of encouragement for Connor? What would you say to him if he's got this dream to open up a gym? What do you think?
Well, it sounds like you're already on track. You just got to keep making it happen. You know, small steps every day.
Would you say go for it, Connor? Give him a bit of...
Yeah, come on, Connor. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Right? I want to be there.
You'll be. Oh, we'll invite you to the opening. You probably won't be able to make it, but we'll invite you, man. You are fucking amazing. Aidan, you want to say hello? Come on, quickly say hello. Come on, quickly say hello. Come on. Come on, quickly. I told you you're the strongest man in the world.
Yeah.
And he said, isn't Arnie the strongest man in the world? And I said, no, you are. But Aidan, meet the strongest man in the world. I'm homeschooling him. So shake his hand. Say hello.
Yeah, give me a little.
That's it. You want big muscles like that? You want to see his muscles? You show me your muscles? Look. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? All right, thanks, man. You're a star. Yeah, appreciate you. See you.
Shock. Sam Sulek's dream is to get bigger. Who would have
Yeah,
guessed?
I'm always like surprised that's a dream, but because I want to get smaller, so I'm always like, okay. Some people want to get bigger, some people want to get smaller. I'll just say one thing about that clip, and then we can openly discuss it, of course. But I said in that clip, how do you find a mentor? Partly a loaded question for me, because I think everyone is asking for a mentor, and they shouldn't be. Most people can't. If you went into my DMs and said, please be my mentor, I either won't reply or say no, because that's such a big request. To be someone's mentor, what does it actually mean? I guess he is being people's mentor. If they watch his content, like you said, they're feeling mentored because they're going to the gym every day, because he's going to the gym every day. I think people have got confused about the word mentor. I think people see it as like, help me do it all. Sit with me every day. Mentor me. Come on, give back. And good mentors, people that could do that, don't have time. And the mentors that are available to do that, I would question whether or not they're good. You should be busy. And so that's not always the case. I'm being very general, but I warn people to just watch out for wanting a mentor and waiting for that mentor to come along. Like someone is going to save them. And when actually what they need to learn is the questions they need to ask, and then ask those questions to the right people. If you ask me a question like, how do I raise money? I can answer it. Or how do I build a brand? I can answer it. If you say, please be my mentor, I just don't even know what to do. I short circuit.
I think mentors are quite important, but I think there's definitely a bit of nuance to it. Like you said, I think that mentorship definitely isn't and shouldn't be having someone to tell you what to do. I think mentorship is more role models and having someone that you can closely follow. But that doesn't even mean you have to meet them. I think that could be as simple as buy their book, right? So you could have a mentor that's dead. I don't know, like Socrates or something, and like you can read their book and they can technically be your mentor. Like in your case now, not everyone can speak to you, but anyone could buy your book coming out next year, and then you can technically be their mentor, or they can watch your YouTube and they can call you their mentor. My personal tactic with mentors is spend as much close time with them as you can, whether it's their content or them in person. If they are alive and not too far away from you, in my opinion, the best way to get a mentor is provide them value, right? Like, you're my mentor. You would have never been my mentor if I didn't provide you value when we started working together, right? So that's one big way.
I mean, it could be anything though. Like I know someone that developed their own business. they were working as like a cleaner or something at a gym, and one of the guys that went to the gym regularly was like super successful and stuff, and they just had a chat in the changing rooms every time he went to the gym every day. And it's like, I don't know, there's lots of ways that you can like find a mentor. It doesn't have to be like someone sat down, get on a call every week and like, let's sort your life out. It's kind of like, you know, I've been thinking about this. What do you think of this? And they'll offer their advice, you know.
Yeah. So I think just on the mission, it's give without take. So giving to a mentor or someone you'd like to be a mentor, that's probably the best way to get help from them. Not expect it back, but they're going to feel like they want to, and obviously it's a win-win. Or just watch content and learn from someone. I think people don't ask the right questions, and people a lot of the time, because they don't know what to do, you're right, I think they want it to be done for them, but in reality that's never going to happen. So
because when I said to him, you're a mentor to many, I noticed his facial expressions was like, am I? As if I haven't, he probably hasn't sat with someone and said, right, this is how you work out. Right, this is how you eat, badly or good, depending on how you reframe it. But like, people just watch his content and they've been inspired to go to the gym.
He's an example.
So to me, that's a mentor.
Yeah, he's an example, right?
Right, exactly.
But equally, that's maybe where we can get into like some of the downsides of it. He's not necessarily like...
He's a flawed person, like
exactly.
we all are.
Everyone is.
Yeah,
no one's the perfect
I eat
role
too much
model.
chocolate.
Yeah.
I know, I don't...
that's why you're an awful person,
Do not follow me
Simon.
for diet advice. Follow me for business advice. I mean, I'm joking aside, but kind of people do actually need to identify what part of the person they're following they respect and what part to watch out on.
So true.
I mean, without naming a particular influencer, I'm thinking one person who's quite a big influencer, I wouldn't take relationship advice from them. I wouldn't. But I probably would listen to some of their business advice.
I want to know who you're talking about.
I can't say it, so the podcast will get back.
Can we bleep it?
It'll be a good clip.
Can we bleep it?
Well, I'm talking about Andrew Tate.
Oh, right. yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know,
it's not obvious.
There's some elements of his business advice that is good. There's some that are awful, like the moral code element. Some of it's awful. People just have to be, I think, fully critical of even their mentors.
Yeah.
Don't just... I think people are almost like a religion. They just want to follow someone and follow everything. Of course not.
Yeah.
Everybody that has something good to say and useful also, frankly, says stupid shit.
Yep.
Like I say, don't buy property. A lot of financial people would say that's completely ridiculous advice. Maybe don't listen to me about that.
Yeah.
You know? It's my opinion. It traps people. Doesn't mean I'm right.
Yeah.
And because you might believe in me and believe in what I say about the education system's broken or that you've got to do something you love, maybe there's two things you agree with, but then when I'm talking about property, you don't agree. Good. Be critical. Have a critical mind, you know.
Yeah, I think what's really powerful is having different mentors for different parts of life. I'd like to take credit for this idea, but Ty Lopez actually says it. But you have like a health mentor, a relationships mentor, a fitness mentor, a wealth mentor, whatever. And they can be a mix of dead and alive. So for money and business, I've got Simon. For health, I've got Helen, Simon's partner. For like spirituality and that, I've got Tarzan now, who I've been speaking to. And then also for like philosophy, it's, you know, people that are dead. Or people that write books that I don't read. And then for relationships, I kind of got my mum because she treated me and my sister in a way that I think you should treat everyone, and it's inspiring to me. But having like a pack of mentors that you like, that you completely look up to that part of their life, I
this
think
is
is
not
really
talked
powerful.
about enough. Actually, I've never heard anyone else ever talk about this point. It's so true. You know, pick what you see someone is good at, and just be critical thinking about the other things that they might do. And that takes us on to the controversy with Sam. Right, there is all the comments when we put that clip up were like, "Oh, you don't want to follow him. He takes steroids. He does this. He does that." I mean, I'm always shocked how much judgment there is in the world. But you know, I think it's obvious that you've got to be careful with that stuff, and it's, you know, it can kill you. It can give you an early grave. It can. So just, of course, think about that stuff. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, by the way. If that's what you want to do, I don't think people should be judged. If that's what you want to do, Sam's decided that's the way he wants to get heavier. That's the way he wants to live his life. I don't think we should be judging him. It's his body. It's his decision. I'm always shocked how many people judge other people.
I think that there's two sides to it. I think 99% of it is no one is perfect, so obviously don't copy everything somebody does. Therefore, if someone does something wrong or bad that you don't agree with and you like other parts of what they do, then that's fine. Let them do their thing and take the parts that you want. I think the minor nuance, the 1%, is that, particularly with a younger audience, a lot of people will see him and think, I want to look like that. And then they will then realise to actually look like that, you kind of need to take something. Now, I think that that's not necessarily... Like, that doesn't mean Sam shouldn't make content, and I don't even think it's really his responsibility, but that is something that will happen. which I think kids need to be aware of, parents need to be aware of, and probably the influencer does need to be aware of, but that doesn't mean you should live your life thinking I can never do anything wrong, because realistically no one's perfect.
I don't actually watch Sam Sulek, but doesn't he like kind of own the whole steroids thing? Like
he's open about it.
He's open, but he doesn't talk about it.
Right.
So his content would get banned if he talked about it.
But I think he my perception is he actively doesn't talk about it because he doesn't want to popularize it. But yeah, he doesn't hide it.
On this subject, again, I do find it really interesting to discuss sensitive people that people judge as bad or good, and some people get something from these people. So just finishing up before we talk about Danny, we put up a post on LinkedIn talking about people we would like on the podcast. Now, we didn't say we liked these people. We didn't say we endorsed their way of living or their ethics. We wanted to bring them on and ask them some hard questions. So we posted up 4 names onto LinkedIn that we thought would be interesting to ask them, what their true intent is. Are they really there to free humanity, or are they there just to make money out of people? And we wanted to ask them these questions. I was shocked how many people gave us hate, simply because we said we wanted to have a conversation with these people. And I think that's the other side. It's one thing, if you're following someone and they're your mentor, be critical thinking and make sure you don't follow every part of their life. Some parts are right for you, some parts aren't. I also think people need to stop being so close-minded. How is it that we get hate because we want to have a chat with someone? But like, you're giving these bad people a platform. They've already got platforms. All the 4 people we're talking about already have a platform. We're a shitty little new podcast. We're not giving them a platform, for fuck's sake. They've got a platform.
The least you can do is hold their platforms to account.
Well, exactly the point. That's when, I think people have kind of misunderstood what a conversation, with someone who's controversial is. Maybe for the people I'm talking about, they have had platforms that have not asked the hard questions. I want this to be a platform of those questions that do get asked. I do want to ask Andrew Tate, bleep.
Can we name the 4 people that we're talking about? I feel like this is going to get lost if there's no context.
We could throw it up on screen we could show the...
Well, let's just say it. It's not going to get blocked. Yeah. So what was it? It was Andrew Tate, Andrew Huberman.
Right.
Who else was there?
Iman
Gadzhi.
And Ben, who was the 4th one?
Alex Hormozy.
Yeah. Okay. So those 4 people... By the way, I'm surprised, people calling Alex Hormozy a scam artist and he never really built a business. Who's actually ever built a gym business with him connected to it? I was quite surprised. I hadn't really heard this. There's a few negative comments flying around about everybody, including me.
Well, Andrew Huberman's a Harvard... Was he on the list? Who's on one of the lists? He's a Harvard professor, a scientist. Again, he's probably not a perfect person. But, it just blows your mind how much hate there is.
But the thing I really don't like about that, first of all, people are allowed their opinion, but they're like, we're going to stop following you, Simon, because you said you want to interview these 4 people. What? I want to ask Andrew Tate why he chose the path he chose. What happened? He was a kickboxer. He was an athlete. He said he wasn't making enough money from that sport. So he had to go and build a cam girl business, whatever else he did, to go make money. I think for someone who's clearly a marketing genius, that was a stupid shortcut. Right? He should have gone and made his sport successful, like the UFC or the WWF. He should have transformed an industry that wasn't paying him what he deserved. Right?
You mean WWE?
WWE.
WWF,
Wildlife Foundation. It was the WWF before.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Now it's all about pandas. Close enough.
Anyway, my generation will know the WWF. Your generation will know WWE. It doesn't matter. The point is, he could have used all that skill to go and transform an industry. In my opinion, he took a shortcut. Quicker you rise, the quicker you fall. I'd like to ask him that question. What made him choose that route? Was it greed? Was it wanted to get there quicker? Was it because he could? He's destroyed his brand because of that. I think some of the things he says in business is smart. Some of the things he says about people and women is awful. All kind of hooks, overdone hooks to get attention.
But largely the same applies as what we were saying about Sam, really. Unless he's convicted or whatever, which obviously you never know, but unless someone's a convicted murderer criminal, really, it's the same concept. You can listen to him for some things and choose to not listen to him for others, but people lack that
some people get convicted and about being controversial. There's one person who leaked a lot of information about the bad things governments were doing, and he got arrested and is going to go to prison for the rest of his life because he basically showed that governments were doing bad things. So even being convicted of things doesn't necessarily mean you've done anything wrong, in my opinion. Why is it all these people we can't name them for some reason? I feel like we'll get blocked. But
you're talking about Snowden or something.
Yeah, beep.
Beep.
Yes.
Whistleblower.
Yeah, it was about beep. But yeah, anyway, I think it's really interesting, and I hope people, as they try to break free of the system, don't get trapped by another system.
The issue is how do people know what's right to listen to and what's wrong? Like you look at these young impressionable guys that hear Andrew Tate talk about go to the gym, work hard. He's energizing young people, but then they're not able to decipher which is the correct pieces to pick up and which aren't. So they pick up the gym, but then they also pick up all the rubbish. I
think it's a really hard thing to know. I think partly my advice on this question, like how do you decide, would be, do you want their life in completeness?
But a lot of young guys want Andrew Tate's life. They see it.
Do they
see
really?
It. Well, they think it's sexy and the cars and all that sort of thing.
They
and
want to be stuck in Romania.
Hold on, you're in prison.
But young people.
And you're stuck in a house in Romania, and think about where you end up.
He's sold a certain image though. Like even when he goes to prison, he's like somehow he's like a martyr.
Yeah,
you know?
he's sold an image. I'm saying to people, what I'm advising people is, forget the image. Look at the life. Look at the life. Right? Do you want that life? Like, you know, I was going to say something controversial. Maybe I shouldn't say it, but like, I think that's what people need to do to answer your question. Separate the image of, you know, walking around looking like a warrior with muscles to actually what is his actual life. He's got a tag on his leg. Right? He's not allowed to leave a country he wasn't born in. It's foreign to him. He's not allowed to do or say certain things. He's permanently being rearrested. More charges on top of more charges. His money's being taken off him. At points, his cards have been... All of it is just like... Let's assume he's innocent. I still wouldn't want that life. You know, like, it's not... He's done something, I think, in business that's wrong, in my opinion. Selling sex is easy. That's not a hard business. It's not a real business. It's a bit like selling houses.
Yeah, you can compare the two.
But you fucking can, to be honest. You know,
We all need sex. We all need house.
that's basically it. If you sell things that people have no choice but to have, then it's not that hard to sell, is it?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, again, I'm not here to judge anybody. I don't know the ins and outs of actually.
So that
what's
we
happening.
might sell water one day.
Water. But you can get water for free.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
quite like the idea of selling things that people can get for free, but they don't mind paying for it because it helps a mission. Like, I'd fucking love to take Anglo Water down. These people load up the company with huge amounts of debt. I'm going to go off at a tangent if I'm not careful. Load up these companies with huge amounts of good debt, take all the money out, put it in their pocket. Then that company carries debt, and then with that debt, they overcharge people for water.
This is a big tangent.
Right, I know it's a big tangent. It'll probably get cut out of the podcast, but anyway.
I think we set
timeline
we set a statement. We can talk to anyone. We can learn from anyone, and we can also choose to judge anyone critically because that's what we choose to do. And I think we should encourage the people that watch us just to think in the same sort of way critically. You can like someone or not like someone, but at least give them the chance, and definitely don't judge someone else for what they think or for what they think of someone else.
Well, there's positive and negatives you can take from absolutely everyone on the planet. Like, if I wanted to get sales or marketing advice, I would turn to either of you. If I wanted you to tell me how to set up a camera, I wouldn't be asking either of you guys. So it's like, it depends what you want to take away from people, which I think is the overarching point.
Plus, on top of everything, things are rarely ever as they seem on the internet anyway. So, like, if you care that much about something or somebody, you probably have the wrong idea anyway. So.
Well, it's the whole thing with cancel culture is if you turn cancel culture onto your own friendship group, you would probably cancel half your mates anyway. Just because they don't have a camera on them 24/7 doesn't make them any better than the people that...
By and large, the people that people love, a lot of them are probably bad people, and the people that people hate, a lot of them are probably good people, and somewhere in the middle.
Give an example.
Well, people love people in the mainstream media and the elites and all that, by and large, I don't know. But I think anyone with a critical brain can probably safely assume that there's quite a lot of those people are bad.
Well, Stephen Hawking was a perceived...
Oh my God, no, we can't go there.
And then he ends up on a list.
Moving on to Danny. Nice segue
Wait, just quickly.
into Danny.
I don't know if this makes the cut, but I also wanted to ask, like, for the young people...
I want to say I've learned a lot from Stephen Hawking, regardless. I've read his book and it's really good.
Yeah, he's still a genius.
Yes.
And we don't know anything else.
It's all
That's the
speculation.
They could have framed him because he's dead.
Yes.
Well, they could have framed him to somehow get his money off him. And they say that there's some information.
Headlines to
technology.
draw away from the truth or something.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Smoke and mirrors.
I think that's what people draw a conclusion to something too quickly without all the information. Yeah. Like, I would say straight up, I still don't know about Andrew Tate. I don't know. I don't know the truth. I don't have the information. I get half information from the news and half information from him. I don't have enough time to study whether or not it's true or not. I'm not going to accuse him of being guilty until I know. That's why I want to interview him. I want to look him in the eye and find out. So I don't think anyone's really done that.
This might be a bit of a segue, but we've opened this podcast to nature and it has started raining.
Perfect.
Nice.
It's kind of nice. It's like a...
Feels like we're in a jungle.
We're now in a rain.
It's like one of those soundscapes.
Now we are turning into a very British podcast where we're talking about the weather and no one in America
So,
cares.
Danny Aaron's, Will's best mate. I had no idea
My
who he
best mate.
was, but he was a really cool guy. Will, why don't you tell us a bit about Danny?
So Danny Aaron's is a YouTube and social media personality. He's someone that built himself up through the medium of live streaming. He originally started by playing FIFA. It's a world that I happen to be very much involved in. For those of you who don't know, I may or may not have a brother that is also a YouTuber. If you can work it out, tell me in the comments. So I have found myself integrated into this world from a very young age. So I, for good or for worse, know a lot about it. When we were going to do the content with Sam Sulek, we were in the car park waiting to get in, trying our hardest to skip the queue because we didn't.
And we
wanna wait.
did get to skip the queue.
We did get to skip the queue.
Power of a social media
The power
following
of Simon
and a fan.
Swift.
The power of
who
clout.
was-
Yes,
in
the power of
charge,
clout.
yeah.
So we managed to skip the queue, but whilst we were waiting, we did see Danny Aaron's. And when we came back from the Sam Sulek stuff, we bumped into him again and we decided to shoot some content where we asked him what his dream was.
Okay, let's play the clip, shall we?
Excuse me, man.
Oh, hello,
What's your dream?
What's my dream? Damn, that's a heavy one straight out of nowhere. My dream in life is to make sure my family are safe, financially secure and healthy.
How much do you need
How much money?
to make sure they're financially secure? Give
I've
us a
done
number.
it.
Oh, there you go then.
done it.
Jesus, that was quick. I normally make the dreams happen. You just made it happen yourself,
wait, have
man.
you got
Right on the
money?
spot. Well,
I'll take it,
I've got something even better than money, man. I've got sweets.
You got sweet?
Yeah, and these are for you.
For
We're
real?
launching sweets,
Oh,
and
thank
basically
you
the
very
idea
much,
is
sir.
eat them when you're playing, man. Sugar high, and
Ooh,
they're-
vegan.
They're not good for you though. Don't
Oh.
no. They're tasty, and every time someone buys them, we give all the profit to fund people's dreams.
Well, that's very
people like you
kind.
aspire by you, right?
That's
You
very
made your
kind.
dream happen. How did you make it happen? Just if you went back to your younger self and gave a tip, what was the difference between you that made it and those that haven't? What do you think?
Consistency. I say hard work, it wasn't really hard, do you know what I mean? But just consistently turning up every single day, even when you don't want to, you still do it.
Do you think it's because you enjoyed it? Is that a big part of it? You got to make sure you enjoy what you do. Fun's
100%.
not enough put in there, is it? Fun as a word. Enjoy what you do.
You can't do something if you don't like it consistently.
But
do you know
people
what I
do
mean?
have to fucking do that every day. That's the problem, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's why you just do YouTube
I
instead.
bet you had no money at the beginning, though, right? It was.
Oh,
not, it
mate,
was.
I was down so bad.
Yeah.
I was down so bad, making no money. My dad said, "Mate, you just sat playing."
Yo, this guy's dream is to leave. You parked in the wrong place today, don't you think?
Which?
What's your favourite channel right now? If you're advising someone starting out fresh right now, what should they do?
Well, I have my fourth channel where I just do.
What should you do? Everyone's got a fourth channel.
Yeah,
mate.
I got five. I got
Have you
five.
really?
But my fourth one's my favourite because I just do whatever in it.
What is your fourth channel?
Fourth channel's called Danny Aaron's More. I upload whatever I want, vlogs, reactions, life updates. I just click record and upload it. I don't edit it. It's just good vibes, man.
It was good to see you queuing up for the gym.
Yeah,
That's
man,
nice. You're going to do a workout today? Is that the plan? And you got caught up in this bullshit?
Well, I just came here to go to the gym. I'm not sure why there's so much queue. Hopefully when I get in.
I like your dedication to the gym, though, man. It's clearly paying off.
Oh, thank you, man. Why are you laughing?
No,
you laughing?
I got a
What are
gut,
you
mate. What can I say? But you're all right. You're all right.
think?
You know, do you actually go to the gym?
Where am I right now?
Oh, well, you're standing in a car park in the middle of nowhere.
But where's the car park?
Yeah, well, the car park's next to a gym.
Yeah,
Technically, that's not a gym. You know, car park is not a gym.
Well,
There'd be a
it
lot
can
more fucking fit people
If
if
I
the car
do
park was a gym.
push-ups right here,
How many could you do?
fucking loads.
How many reckon do you reckon?
not even joking, loads.
Give me a rough number.
More than you.
No, that's for sure.
I
But
promise you.
how many do you reckon you do? What's
In
your
one?
Yeah.
75.
Right, if you do 75 push-ups right now, I'll give £1,000 to any charity you want.
In what time restriction?
Right now.
How long?
Oh, you got a week to do 75
No, but
push-ups.
how long? Like,
No, you
how
mean?
many minutes?
Oh, I see. Jesus, you like putting
like-
yourself under pressure, don't you?
what? But, like, I can do like, I can.
Well, I tell you what. How fast do you think you can do 75? Let's do it this way.
How fast? 2 hours.
What? No. What's the fastest you could do it in? Like, if you like, I reckon if I pushed it, I could do it in. I reckon that's 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
No.
How
never.
long? How long?
10.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
75 in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Bro, I'm not Sam Sulek. You know
Oh,
what
but
I mean?
Who the fuck's that? Anyone know? Who the hell's that? Do you know who he is?
Well, I want to do 70, but how much? Is this a?
I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. If you do it in, let's say you do it in under 3 minutes, I'll do £2,000.
Under
You
3
do it over 5 minutes, it's £1,000.
Over 5 minutes. and
Just
that's
think,
it?
yeah.
Over 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that could technically be 5 hours.
No, yeah, it could be. I guess it could be, but I've got shit to do, so don't take 5 hours.
75k.
All right, here we go. Now, oh man, are you sure? I don't want you to hurt your hands or anything.
But I
You
love charity.
can bail this out.
I
by the
love
way. You can-
charity.
Which charity are we going to give it to?
Can we please give it to Mind?
Mine done.
M-I-N-D.
M-I-N-D done.
Okay, I'm gonna start a timer.
All right, ready? On your marks.
Yeah, yeah.
So just to reiterate. 75 push-ups under 3 minutes, £2,000. Over 3 minutes, but no more than 5 minutes.
Wow, so now you're
£1,000.
adding more.
No,
You're adding more.
No, you tell me what to say. I don't know what to say. I'm not
Okay,
good at
fine.
making.
Under 5 minutes.
Yeah, and if you
75
don't do it
under
in
5
5 minutes, you have to pay the £1,000
I have to
charge.
pay 1,000.
That's good. That's a good challenge. On your marks. This is going to cost me £2,000. I know it's going to cost me £2,000. On your marks. Get set. Oh, just stretch in a little bit. All right, you ready? You sure?
Always.
On your marks. Get set.
Hands are hurting, by the way.
Go. 1, 2, all the way down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Move your hands.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh no, don't take a break. I'm not going to show you the time though, because you're 25. I actually think that's pretty impressive. He's got to do 75. Oh man.
50 more.
Can we put a coat down at least to protect his hands? Has anyone got? Give me my coat. Yeah. This piece of shit.
Count!
Here you go. Put your feet, hand. Okay, go. Put my coat. Go on. My coat. Go on. Don't worry about it, mate. It's the piece of shit. They hurt animals. I didn't know when I bought it. Okay, ready? All right, ready? 26, 27, 28, 29. Go down all the way, cheat. 20, 30. That was good. I still gave it to you, even though your bum was up in the air.
I got
Are
my knees.
you in a relationship?
100%.
Oh, good.
Best relationship of my life.
Oh, really?
Only
Best-
been a minute.
You should say best relationship so far, you know? Best relationship.
No.
That's why I say to my wife, we've been together 21 years. So far, best one. That's a good way of putting it. They love that. They love that. It still makes them number one, but keeps them on their toes.
That's actually no, I can't do that. I can't
All
do
right.
that.
By the way, you better
No, but you said under 5 minutes. So I'm
under
chilling.
5 minutes, but under 3 minutes is £2,000.
I'm chilling.
Jesus Christ. I'm rich, but I'm going to go broke quick if I do it for everyone in this queue.
I'll take £500.
Yeah, really?
What am I on pay?
There's some people there's some hustlers in this line, isn't there?
Give me lunch.
Give you lunch. Jesus Christ, you're cheap, mate. You're a cheap date, you are. What were we on? 30, right?
40.
No, cheap.
I was on
30. Okay, here we go. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. So psychology, I deliberately counted slow there so you felt tired. I was like 43,
No, I'm just tired, man.
44.
2 minutes 30, halfway.
I like the way you're pacing yourself. You see, this is.
Yeah, I
do
don't
you know
wanna-
what though? This is a big lesson in life. What you're talking about here, yeah? Because most people would burn themselves out trying to get the £2,000, and they wouldn't even make the
£1 is
£1,000.
better than zero.
That's right. That is actually right. There's a big metaphor in business here. How long did it take you to get from zero to where you are now on what you're doing? How long?
11 years.
11 years, and patience and persistence.
Consistency.
You're giving us a lesson right here. Fucking hot sauce podcast crap. This is much better. Push up podcast. That's what we
What
should
are
be
we
doing.
on? 45?
We're on 45. Yeah.
30 more, yeah?
Just over 3 minutes. 2. 50, right? 50?
5?
50. 51. 2, 4, 55. 55.
20 more to go.
If you could go back and change one thing, one thing.
Shit, I lost my place. I'll go back.
No, don't worry. I'll get you to the front. If you go back and change one thing in your, one mistake you made, you wish you hadn't done. What was it?
Not commit sooner.
Not commit sooner.
Yeah, because I was just playing about, and then the second I committed, it all started going well.
What was the difference between commitment and not commitment? What was the actual difference?
Actually, so instead of just playing games for a job, I actually started playing games for a job. Do you know what I mean? I didn't just film it, oh, I feel like playing FIFA, so I'm going to just play FIFA and then film it. I then started editing it, uploading it, do you know what I mean, putting an actual graph.
You learnt the craft. You dug in, yeah? You didn't just play the game.
I'm scared of this time.
Yeah. What number was it? Anyone remember? 46, 7, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75! You, man, are a friggin' champion. £1,000 going to your charity. I'll
match it as well.
You'll match it? Fucking awesome. Anybody else want to match it? Crickets. Quiet. See, not a single... You'll match it? You'll match it?
No, match the money, not the
I'll match the money. I like that, though. I'll match the money. Yeah. Oh, you want to match the...
He matched it. See, at the end, he matched it. So he also put £1,000. I put in £1,500 just to kind of go again another level. So he then said, "Oh, you did me, man." It's like, all right, that's cool. What a nice guy, though. I have to say, I didn't know him until then. Since then, I've been obsessed with watching him play FIFA. It's a bit weird, but I've got back into. I bought an Xbox, so he sold an Xbox.
So are you going to try and play FIFA with him now?
I'm not. I don't know if he'll let me. I think there's an exclusive group of people.
I can train you, Simon.
You could train me. I maybe Call of Duty. Does he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any Call of Duty.
Maybe.
But he's moved away from that now. I think why don't we talk for people listening about maybe his evolution, because he is financially free. He has taken care of his family. It's a lot of people's dream, right? Might be listening to this podcast and thinking, I want to free myself and my family. How did he do it?
Well, I think from a young age, he jumped on the trend that a lot of people jumped on, which was the whole video game thing, which works as a platform to kind of propel yourself into that world, but it can get stale quite quickly. So he clearly saw that he needed to evolve himself out of that content just so that he himself doesn't kind of get lost in the noise, which is what he started doing now. He has got a bit of hate for it because I think he's gone from being he used to be quite a large character. He was overweight, to be honest, and people could relate to him quite well because he was a gamer that was overweight.
That's why he was a bit sensitive when I talked about weight, by the way.
Yes, probably.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I
was joking with him a little bit, like you're in the queue to go to the gym, and I went, "Oh, really? Now I understand." Yeah.
But yeah, no, he went from like quite a relatable character to now he's got a girlfriend, which, if we're being completely honest, he is probably punching above his weight. He's got a new tattoo on his hand, so he's starting to kind of take on this more cool persona where people can't really relate as much to him.
That's how he blew up, but how did he break from that like typical gamer on Twitch or wherever he's streaming? How did he break into the mainstream?
Is he particularly good at FIFA? Was that it? Or what
I think he leaned more into the over-the-top entertainment over being a really skilled...
Doing the Simon Cowell kind of, for my generation listening, the kind of like extrovert...
Yeah, so he was more of an entertainer than he was someone that was specifically good at the task he was doing, and then he built off the back of that.
I mean, for me, I don't really recognise him from his streaming or anything like that. I don't think I've actually ever watched a Danny Aaron's video or a Danny Aaron stream. I've seen him from other channels, more bigger mainstream channels like Chris MD. I see him on there as like a guest, and that was where I saw him. And I know that he really blew up from being in Locked In, right?
Yeah.
Which is like a foot asylum.
Yeah,
it's like Big Brother, but like foot asylum on YouTube.
Yeah,
and that was where he met his girlfriend.
So a lesson, I think, in that, because collaboration. I think everybody thinks that I blew up on my own, right? Of course, first of all, I had an amazing team, you guys, to get my channels where they are today, and lots of collaborations and partnerships with brands, with individuals, right? Like, I think that's one thing people don't realise when they're plugging away, pushing their content up every day. Like, why have I only got 500 views? Well, you've got to collaborate with people. I've had a lot of people join me in my clips and then do collaboration posts. So I get to my videos to their audience, they get their videos to my audience. This is something that isn't really talked about for people to understand.
So how do you collaborate with someone with a bigger audience? Because Danny Aaron's is getting featured on these channels like Chris MD and all this sort of thing, and he's getting put into Locked In by Foot Asylum. So how do you break into those spaces?
Will told me this, but Danny initially didn't know who I was, right? And he just said, "Oh, I'll do it." He didn't say, "Well, how many followers has this guy got? I'm not going to do it unless..." He just said, "Oh, there's something fun to do while I'm waiting in a queue all right. Later, it turned out he had watched a lot of my content, which I was pretty chuffed about when it later.
And we were absolutely massive as well.
Yeah, and he was also surprised how big our channels were. But I don't think people like someone asked me to go on their podcast the other day. They've got like 500 followers on their social media. I said yes because I want to support them in their podcast. I mean, that's how I know you. I came on your podcast when you had 3 people listening.
There's more than that.
Yeah, in the old
It was
days,
4.
you know, the very beginning, I think it was 3 and your mum. The point I'm making is like, good people that you want to collaborate with, I don't think they compare numbers. Of course, probably at the echelon, you know, the top level, there's a manager in between the person and who you want to collaborate with. You know, I'm sure Taylor Swift isn't going to work with just anybody. But ironically, she is someone actually that does go and hang out with someone who's a fan. She doesn't care how many followers they've got.
I think this is kind of where like both Sam and Danny have cracked it. Is that they're just at their core very likable people,
Yeah, I
very
agree.
pleasant to be around.
This is untold as well.
Yeah.
Like just being yourself. Like this, everyone's thinks you have to put on an act or persona.
And I think that's how Danny's actually blown up and taken it to the next level again. Like Will was saying, he's just like this like fat gamer or whatever, but he's a fun character.
He might be upset.
Sorry, Danny, but he's a fun
really
character to be around. And then he gets put into Locked In, and he's like kind of flirting with this really like good-looking girl, Tennessee, right? And then somehow he pulls her, and everyone's going
He
crazy.
just worked out
Is he
it's a
actually dating
person,
her now?
not a place.
Is he dating?
You?
You kept saying
Yes.
it for the camera.
Is he dating her now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have they been dating?
Couple months probably now. Yeah.
I want to ring her up and say, what's it like to date a streamer?
If we rang her, would she answer?
I highly doubt it, to be
We
honest.
could try. Should we try and ring her?
Phone
We're
calls.
talking about your
We ban phone
boyfriend.
calls,
No,
bro.
it's bad.
No
bad
phone calls. We tried to do phone calls on this podcast and they haven't worked out, so we're not allowed to do them anymore apparently. But
I think it's really important though, like, having that like open mind, open heart, and that authenticity towards the content that you make, towards the people you collaborate with, whether they're above you or below you in numbers. I think the audience feel it. Plus, it gives you an open chance for opportunity that a lot of people miss. Like once we tried to interview someone who also has an audience, and they completely blocked us off and walked on. They didn't know who we were or what audience size we were. And the thing is, that's their choice. It doesn't really matter. But they might have gone home and realised who we were. And they actually do something cool, or that could have got me some more views.
Yeah, I know exactly
and
who you're
by,
talking
and by
about,
having
though,
a
yeah.
quick, closed mind, you close off those opportunities.
I think that's generally true.
you need to be careful
A lot of people, like, when we tried to interview them and say what their dream is, like, get out, go away, sod off. I'm like, hey, if you told me what your dream is, we maybe could have made it happen. Maybe not, but we could have tried. You know, why do people do that?
Yeah.
Just before, I'd like to end the podcast on this, my suggestion. A lot of people listening might be thinking, well, who should I follow? Who are the role models that I can learn from? Why don't we just go around and we all share maybe 2, 3, 4 people, whatever feels the right number for you, of people that you do follow, people that you do see as role models. Will, do you want to go first?
I've always kind of struggled with role models. I don't know. I don't necessarily like kind of look up to people. The one I like is the
He
thing
thinks
that
he is a role model.
I am a role model, which is actually exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, your morning routine, fuck it, I get up at 10.
Yes.
So inspirational, man.
It's perfect. It works a treat. But no, the one I like is the Matthew McConaughey speech he did when he won an Oscar, I think, and he said that his hero was him in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because he
That's
will
so
never...
you, by the way. That's
Yes.
so you.
My hero is me.
You are your own hero 30 years from now.
I think the way you phrased it was someone to chase, not
It's
someone to
someone
look
to
up
chase,
to.
not someone... Because if your hero is yourself in 10 years, you will never achieve that. You will always be chasing that goal. Where if your hero is someone that you can physically and mentally surpass, once you've done that, then what?
So Matthew McConaughey is yours.
Matthew
Got it,
McConaughey's
mate.
speech at the Oscars. That's the one.
Anybody else? There's a good philosophy, though. I know exactly what you mean. What he
The
says.
one I always liked was Casey Neistat, because
Yeah.
I studied film at uni, which wasn't worth it, but that's not the point.
But he's a good example, I think, of someone that struggled with his relationship and struggled in other parts of his life, made incredible videos every day.
Yeah. But
even he said he struggled. He probably didn't want to follow him in those days for relationship advice.
No, I would have been
I
following
think his
him.
relationship was strained because he was
Yes.
making a video every day.
Yeah, no,
right?
the daily vlogs for 370 days or whatever was probably almost killed his marriage.
Yeah, I tried to do a daily vlog as well myself, and I think it almost killed my marriage. And I only did it for 3 weeks. And she's like, I'm not walking past that post again, so you can capture me walking past that post. I fucking walked past it already, you know. But in vlogs, you have to repeat the stuff from
Yeah.
different angles, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure that probably hurts.
Very
I
tasty,
want to see Simon Squibb, the filmmaker, in action. That's something I missed.
No,
so
I've done
I
it.
wanna
Have
see
you
that.
seen one of my
I've
own
seen some of your
vlogs?
vlogs. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see that they're inspired by Casey.
Yeah, they're totally inspired. by
Execution, questionable.
Casey. Questionable. I totally. In fairness, it was before my YouTube channel blew up.
Callum, role models?
So I've got a few that come to mind. I mean, I've got loads, but the ones that come to mind instantly, I really actually like Naval for what he talks about. Just I like the startup guys. I really love startup culture and that whole world. So Naval's up there, and I like his philosophy as well. Steve Jobs is up there as well. Again, not the perfect
I don't really
character.
like Steve Jobs. It's
Well,
funny you say
yeah,
that.
not the perfect character by any means. Widely known as an asshole. But I just love the way that he thinks and the way
he thinks from an innovation point of view. Yeah, but I really question his ethics and more importantly,
Elon's the same.
he could have done so much more good in the world.
Yeah.
Like Elon, actually, in
True,
fairness, his
yeah.
businesses are actually
Yeah.
being save humanity.
Yes, that's true,
Like
that's true,
a
yeah.
town hall for humans to be able to say whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of admire that
True.
part of Elon Musk.
True.
But I don't think Steve Jobs had that. He could have done so much more. Apple, I pitched to Apple once. This is why I hate them. I pitched to them like, why don't you, when the phone loads up, put an app on there that allows people to donate a piece of £5 or $5 to charity before they can use the phone. They just spent $1,500 on this bloody thing. And then you could support every charity in the country with your phone. Anyway, I've gone off at a tangent.
No,
again.
keep telling
Sorry.
the story. It's a good clip.
Yeah, okay. Right, yeah, but Steve Jobs is not my hero. I love what he created product-wise. I interviewed Tony Fadell, as you guys know, on my podcast. He's more my hero.
he's up there too.
Yeah,
He's up
I
there
like
too.
him.
And Johnny Ive as well. I was talking to Ben about
these
getting
are
these
people that
people.
made stuff that actually made the world better.
Yeah.
And a lot of people disagree with me about the iPhone, but the iPhone is just a fridge, to use Tony Fadell's.
Steve Jobs was involved in that too, though. It's still his
Steve Jobs was
company at the
involved
end
in
of the
that.
day, right?
Again, I'm not, and then I think this is kind of...
And he led that and built that.
Yeah, Steve Jobs is a bit of a
culture.
trigger for me when you mention it, because I get exactly why you like him, and as a business...
Could we fire him?
Yeah, our intern just sneezed. This seems to...
The other
interruptions.
But yeah, no,
Bloody
sorry,
innocent.
I've interrupted you. Who else?
Naval, Steve Jobs, and speaking of content, I don't know why he popped in my mind, but I actually really, really respect what PewDiePie's done. Just, I love the online world because people can just share their hobbies and their interests online, and get paid and rewarded for doing it by entertaining other
He's
people. I
gone
think that's
out
beautiful.
of the scene now. He's not...
Well, yeah, actually, I really respect him for it because he comes onto the scene and he's just playing games, having fun, putting the content out there, making millions, and then he's having a kid and all this sort of stuff, and he's moving on in life, and he's still doing videos, he's still doing like a vlog.
Recently
but
he's done a few things
He's
to
just
show his baby
creating.
being born
He's
and
more
stuff.
creating from the heart instead of like against the algorithm or whatever, which is
Yeah,
why he's calmed down.
By the way, I think that's really, really interesting and true. Like, giving up money to have a better life is a really powerful thing. I mean, if you're earning millions as PewDiePie and you stop taking millions in the door, that is like, that's not easy. Like, I've actually done the same. By the way, I sold one of my companies and I stopped working. I didn't have to do that. I found it really hard to stop working. I think you have to do it sometimes. You have to like give up that addiction, even if it's your own business. That can also trap you if you're not careful. Lots of money coming in the door. Lots of people might be going, I wish lots of money were coming in the door. It can also trap you. So I agree with you. Good one. Anybody else before we move on to chat?
Some people from history and stuff, but like Seneca as philosophy kind of thing. But I'll let Jack go. I could go on all day.
Didn't he murder thousands of people?
Seneca the Younger.
Didn't he?
Seneca, no, he was.
Callum's idol was
Roman-
a genocide.
Who are you talking about Alexander?
Oh, I'm getting confused. But
Alexander the Great.
No. I thought Seneca was, didn't he...
Seneca the Younger. He was like he was in politics.
wasn't he basically the guy that brought back the death penalty or something like in there?
It's a good question. What's your favourite genocide?
Yeah. Anyway, I might be misunderstanding the person you're talking about. What was it
You're not
like
thinking about the guy that killed Jesus. You're not thinking about that
No,
guy.
I
No,
don't-
that's Judas.
Judas, yeah.
Just, okay, why is this guy, out of interest, what does he say that appeals to you?
Um,
We might need to close the window.
I am hyper aware that the heavens have opened.
Well, we're nearly done anyway, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm just trying to think of like some of the things that... There's this one book that really got me into like philosophy and particularly Stoicism called On the Shortness of Life. And he just talks about... that they're basically letters that he wrote to friends and his mother and all this sort of thing. But there's one particular letter which is on the shortness of life, where he talks about how, just because someone has lived a long time, or just because someone has grey hairs on their head, doesn't necessarily mean that they've lived of full life. They've just lived a long time. And Seneca talks about how life is plenty long if you just know how to use it. And I think just switching your brain onto that book really switched my brain onto like memento mori and all this sort of ancient philosophy about not being wasteful with your time. It's kind of like just something I live by now. I don't want to waste my time. It's kind of why I do this and why I do everything. I just want to have an impact, and I think I do agree that life's probably plenty long if you know how to use it.
I had a semi-epiphany the other day. This is a slight tangent, but it's fine, we'll work with it. Where, if I'm lucky, at best I've got another 70 years on this planet. 70 years is not a long time at all. It will go like that. I'll be gone and forgotten unless this podcast does really well, and I'll live forever, which is the dream. And I think it's more of a tangent than people I look up to, but it's a way I try and live my life now is by each day I want to do something that makes me happy. I don't want to do something for some material gain. Obviously...
Fulfilled or happy?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that's the question. There you go. We're getting into the philosophy chat now.
I think happiness is fulfillment
Happy, I think.
more than anything. I think happiness is the best way to be fulfilled in life, because if you're not happy...
I'd say that
how
way
can you-
around.
Yeah. Happy is a bit of a funny
Fleeting
old word. I think you're talking about I want experiences each day.
Yeah.
Because sometimes those experiences initially don't make you happy. You have to get up early when you're tired. That doesn't make you happy, does it?
No.
You get to the stadium or watch a shitty football match, you feel happy. It
I like my
creates
shitty
happiness.
football match.
Yeah.
But what about when they lose? You feel unhappy. You only feel happy when they win because they win.
I used to feel unhappy. Now my life doesn't revolve around football to the point where I actually
Victory.
have. Exactly.
Ironically, we're freeing you slowly.
Yes.
On to Jack, before we wrap up, Jack.
So I said mine earlier, really, but I'll just give one more. I like studying Robert Greene's books a lot recently. So 48 Laws of Power, Mastery, Laws of Human Nature. I just think he's very aligned with the stuff that you talk about and we talk about as a person. Like Mastery is all about finding your life's purpose and all of this. But mainly the main reason I like it is because his books are just history, really. It's not much of stuff he's saying. It's all person after person after person you learn about. So about Roosevelt, Carnegie, Edison, Coco Chanel, Freud, Nietzsche, like all these people. And I'm really interested in all that stuff. But it's all kind of new to me. I don't know loads of history. So I'm finding it a really cool way to learn a lot of history in a way that's also applied to things that I want to become an expert in, like power, human nature, mastery, all that stuff. So
I like the
his books are
juxtaposition
cool.
of both of you guys having really kind of critical thinkers as your people you look up to, and mine is just an actor in a vlog.
Yours is just
guy.
yourself.
And me. Yeah.
On your point about death, I did have a ecstatic moment about 1 month ago where that Brian Johnson guy, who looks kind of like an alien, but he's making himself live forever, and Alex Becker, someone else in the space who I kind of look up to, unironically saying that like with tech and self-development and health, it's kind of possible that in our lifetime, people could be living to like 120 to 140. That made me really happy because I thought I'd die at 90, and that still most likely will happen. But I was like, I could have just gained 50 years, and I'm like, that is really cool.
As long as it's not a painful 50 years.
Cool. Well, no.
I hear everyone talk about old age. It's a very difficult stage of life.
I think mental war is very important, but I also really don't fucking want to die. So
I think
I want to live a long life, and while also remembering death.
It brings urgency, though.
Yeah.
You know, like
I've just visited some very elderly relatives in New Zealand. You know, sometimes the pain of living is too much as well. There is a stage where you should be allowed to. You can't say you want to die, which seems pretty weird to me. You're not allowed to euthanasia, right? You're not allowed to end your own life, which I think, if you've got a sound mind, is kind of wrong. It should be up to you. Anyway, we could digress into something completely different.
Yeah.
And I'll just say quickly who I look up to. I look up to my wife.
that's cute.
Yeah, I mean, it's an underappreciated role that she plays in my life right now. She looks after our son, who we homeschool. She puts up with the long hours I work. I used to have the excuse of needing money to work these long hours, and now I don't have that, so it's just purely trying to, fill my own bucket with purpose and help people do what they love. And she just never really complains. And, I tell her, well, I'm off to Dubai next week, and I'm going to go to New York for a week, and she never says no, and she always says, how could she help? And that's 21 years she's been like that. The consistent support and mentorship from someone, that's another thing altogether.
That's amazing.
We're going to have a podcast talking about how you find these people.
Yeah,
I need a Helen.
I actually think I do
And a
know
podcast with
formula
Helen.
We
about
will
how to
also we'll
find
have
the
a
right
podcast with
person.
Helen. Yeah.
But a big part of it is not about finding the right person, it's about investing in the person you've got.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
And
it's
giving
about
people a chance. I think that's what you probably did with Helen. You did it with all of us. Just giving, and like we said earlier, just giving people a chance, no matter
Yeah.
what you might initially think of them.
Yeah, when I first met Helen, everyone told me she was, sleeping around with lots of men, and I had to discover for myself that was not true. But sometimes you do get the wrong impression of people.
Just like how she drinks a glass of wine.
She loves to drink, that woman.
Yeah.
She loves to drink.
Classic.
Anyway, I think
Simon
that's
jokes
it.
about Helen.
I don't know what episode number this is, but we're getting there.
8.
Episode
Number 8.
I think
If
I
it goes out as number 8, I've got no idea.
was
but
kind
it
of
is number
skeptical
8.
of doing episodes just talking about 2 random people, but it's been
You
quite.
know
Well,
what? I enjoyed it.
I think it's evolved into an episode more on kind of
No, I liked it. It was a good
Mentorship,
sounding,
than
coaching.
that. Yeah.
good springboard for other things. You
It
wanted
gets
to
us
say.
going as well, you know.
Yeah.
It brings 2 good names into the mix that we can then discuss as popular culture.
And leverage for the
live leverage.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, there you go. You've got a behind the scenes. What did you think of the podcast?